Hey, this is Susan Ragsdale with Right Creations Group, and I'm here today with Tasha Cartwright that I've known for many years, and we just discovered in talking that it's been decades because she has over 20 years experience in working with youth. And Tasha, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So I know Tasha from roles with her leading training and curriculum and working with youth and working with adults in various capacities. And so I'm asking her the same thing I've been asking everyone as we get this on the ground experience around reflection and critical thinking. Tasha, tell me how reflection, why it's an important part of your work, why it's a tool that you rely on.
I think reflection period is important because it gives youth really an opportunity to process their own learning, to see what they have gotten from the lesson that was taught on that day. I also think it's a great way just to reflect on who you are as well and what you take in and say, hey, that's something new that I didn't, know, or yeah, that's something that I can resonate with. But at the same time, to see how I can take what I learned out of reflection and continue to build on it. So I really think it's a great way of just being able to learn about who you are as well as how you process the things around you.
And in the time that you've been using reflection activities and trying to make that a part of your work, are there particular tips or techniques or things you've learned that you want to share with others? Like, I've learned not to do this, or I've learned to do that?
I have learned not to ask yes and no questions because you simply get either a yes or a no, and that's not really a great way that you are able to see if the young person really grasps the lesson that you learn. So I try to ask more open-ended questions. I also do it in fun ways, whether it be with tossing a ball or, if it's passing a microphone or something that's fun that they'll be able to enjoy doing reflection, but also truly give me what they have truly learned and not just a simple yes or no.
And you mentioned passing a ball. Do you have a favorite activity that's in your go-to box that you pull out every time, or?
So I like activities. One in particular is like the thorn activity, a rose or a thorn. I like that one in particular because they're able to tell me, what was something rosy about the activity, a thorn, what is something that could be tweaked or work on, or how they even felt being in an activity with working with their peers. So I like that one. Another one is that I just made up myself, and I'm sure something around it, but using emojis where they hold up an emoji but tell me why you felt that way in doing the activity and how did it, it make you feel.
That's funny. We did put an emoji
Did.
activity in the new book that's coming out. So you're right. There's different ways of using it,
Yeah.
and that's good. We're connecting with young people where they are and what's relevant in the culture, and that's part of making it happen is figuring out
Mhm.
what will connect. So, are there other things that you have found help you really connect with them to make reflection relevant?
I think just also giving them an opportunity to talk in a group among themselves and not always putting them on the spot to say, hey, John Doe, tell me about this. But when you put them in a group and they're just able to talk amongst themselves and their peers, they feel more of a connection. So I think that's always important, building relationships. So I like doing reflections in group and not just always individual where you just call on a person to answer a question.
All right, so last question. Do you have a particular story that comes to mind where you saw an aha moment from reflection or a change in attitude, or just something where you're like, yeah, this is why I like to lead reflection activities, because I saw this happen? Do you have anything that comes to mind?
Well, something similar, more so probably when I attended one of your trainings. I like how you used to put like quotes or whatever posted on the wall, and you have to walk to find a quote that you relate to, and then you had us walk like across the line if you felt this way about a particular quote. To me, that was an aha moment for myself because one, I really don't like speaking out in front of individuals, but it was something that like, hey, yeah, I see how I fit within that quote. And then you just had us to walk to a certain line. And then for those who wanted to share why, we had that opportunity. So I really like doing reflection that way. So I really think that was aha because it really, the quotes or whatever that was posted is like, I can see myself in that quote. So it makes you feel good. It's not you feeling that you've been put on the spot.
Well, that's nice that you're pointing back to our trainings. We share two methods, quotes on the wall where you self-select, or cross the line if you identify with this statement, and then asking some people to share. Not everyone has to, but everyone's still getting to own for themselves where they are. 60 other activities are going to be in the new book coming out. Great Group Reflections, 60 compelling challenges to prompt self-discovery and critical thinking, out on next Tuesday, which is August 6th.
Yay!
Yay! And Tasha, thank you for sharing your perspective of how it's working for you in the field, because I think that's equally important for us to hear each other's voices, what we're doing and learning. And I got something just from listening to you, so thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.